For checking this out. So I just want to do a real quick video just about anxiety, about how to deal with it in the moment. We talked about this before in some longer videos, but maybe you're struggling with some anxiety today, or you just need to know some things that you can do to quickly release it. So let's talk about it real quick. So anxiety is an emotion that we feel when we feel like we're out of control, when we don't have control over some need that we have, some basic need that we have. And then that's that tension of anxiety. It's similar to fear, and fear that we can't, that we ourselves can't control whether or not we're going to have our basic needs met. So it can create a lot of that tension, a lot of that similar energy to that fear. And the best way to deal with it in the moment is to learn some ways to expel some of that energy, move some of that energy out, and most importantly, stop those thoughts that are creating that anxiety to begin with. So sometimes something might stress us out. We might feel a little bit of tension, a little bit of anxiety. And then once our thoughts get onto it, once our mind gets onto it, we start to go down that downward cycle, and it just really gets a lot worse. So you're doing a great thing right now. You're watching a video, and that's helping take your attention off of those ruminating thoughts and onto something else. So that's a great first step. But let's talk about some other things that you can do if you've been experiencing a lot of anxiety lately. So as I mentioned, it is a physiological, there's an emotional energy that has a physiological component to it. When we feel that anxiety, a lot of it has to do with the thoughts in our head, but we also feel physical manifestations. We feel a tenseness. Sometimes our heart will race. When I've struggled with anxiety in the past and it was at its worst, then I would get tunnel vision, or I'd feel like I was going to pass out, or I would, lose my balance and fall against something. And all of this is your body's trying to regulate that extra emotional tension, which becomes physiological, and we look for physiological ways to deal with it or to discharge it. So we can help that by doing a couple simple things. So the first thing to think, the minute that you find yourself experiencing that anxiety, move your body, get up, walk around, do something to physically expel some of that energy. And if you can do something that requires some coordination, is a little bit more challenging, then it can also focus your attention and your mind. So walking through the woods would be more effective than just walking, down the hallway in your office. If you kind of the idea is if you needed to use thoughts to navigate, then those are thoughts that aren't focusing on your anxiety. Walking up and down the stairs could be more beneficial than just taking a stroll down a hallway that doesn't require you to think about what you're doing. So movement, this brings in two things. Movement, that movement allows you to discharge some of that anxiety, and then taking control or replacing those thoughts with something that's a little bit more productive. All right, so the next thing that you can do, the second thing, is taking control of your breath. So anxiety comes about when we feel like we don't have control over something, or we begin to think about all the things in the world that affect our life that we don't have control over. So a good shift that we can do, a mindset shift, to start to think about something that we can control and literally take control of something. Bringing your awareness to your breath. And there's a really simple breathing exercise that I do when I'm facing with struggling with anxiety or feeling a lot of stress. And I will bring my attention to my breath, take control of my breath, and then I will start breathing on a 16-second cycle. And what this looks like is I'll inhale for 4 seconds, so counting slowly, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll then hold the breath for 4 seconds, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. And then once I've exhaled, I'll hold it for 4 more seconds. So I'll go ahead and I'll guide you through this real quick. If you're feeling anxiety, just stop what you're doing, focus on this, and follow along with me. So go ahead and close your eyes. Bring your awareness to your breath. Go ahead and inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 2, 3, 4. Let's do one more. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 2, 3, 4. With this really simple breathing exercise, you're doing a couple things that is helping deal with that anxiety and that tension in the moment, help you get from that state of overwhelm back to one where you recognize some of the control that you have, and you can stop that ruminating thought, those ruminating thoughts, and that negative downward spiral of emotion. We're taking the attention away from those negative thoughts or those anxiety creating thoughts and putting it on something else. Now we're putting that attention on our breath and on counting, which is a distraction, and it's showing us something that we can take control of. And then through that breathing process, by slowing ourselves down physiologically, it also has the effect of slowing down our mind and our thoughts. A lot of people don't realize that it's kind of a two-way thing. It took me some time to learn and really appreciate this, but if we feel anxious, it can have physiological change on our body. If we take control of those things that we can control of our body, then it can have a emotional and a thought change in our mind. So for example, if you're depressed and you're having a rough day, we tend to slouch a little bit and we tend to look down. And if you look at your feet tend to be more pointed in toward one another. If we reverse that, we can also reverse the effect on our mind and on our thoughts. You have to hold it for a little while, but it's very strange. But it's not a one-way street. It's a two-way street, and one thing can affect the other. So we focus on what we can affect. Anyway, just wanted to create this short video, help you, provide some tools if you were facing or struggling with some anxiety right now, or it's something that's shown up a lot in your life. Hope you like this video. Please share it with somebody that needs to hear it. Drop your comments below. Let me know if you have any questions, any other topics, anything else I can help you out with. If you're not a part of our group yet, please go to alifeunchained.com. That's chain or unchained, so alifeunchained.com, and join our group. We'd love for you to be a part of the community. You be well, and we'll check you in the next video.